I'm Doug TenNapel in Exile, and I'm sitting here in the living room of one of my very long time friends, Mr. Barry Meguiar. You know him from Car Crazy. You know him from being the king of the Meguiar car wax empire. You know him from being just a brilliant entrepreneur and, more importantly, a great evangelist and Christian. So I'm here stopping in just with my buddy, Barry.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another very special edition of Meguiar's Car Crazy.
I wish you a very pleasant journey. Please fasten your seatbelts.
Hey.
Barry, I love you so much.
I'm with Doug TenNapel. I can't believe it.
I love you so
You know, you were a college kid, and you were great friends with my daughter Michelle, but then you were great friends with my daughter Michelle's mother.
That's right. Karen Meguiar is my special love.
You came in and cleaned the house with my wife. You were like and you're outside the box, and your whole life I've looked and watched you and been in admiration, and now I get to be with you on your blog.
In your living room.
God, you can take me home now.
It's a great show. You're an incredible media guy, and one of the big things where you really blew open Meguiar Wax was at the convention level. You brought it grassroots to the people.
Oh yeah.
And so, is there a method or something we can learn from that discipline on sharing important messages besides just great?
What an interesting question. I've never been asked that question, but I can give you a quick answer.
Yeah.
It's passion. If you don't have passion for what you're doing, you're not going to get it done. It's just a job. For me, I knew I had the greatest product in the world. I was passionate about it, and I wanted to show car guys how I could make their car look fantastic. And I went one car show at a time, one car guy at a time, put spots on his car, and he'd say, well, that looks pretty good. I'd say, okay, here's a bottle. You're not trying to sell anything. I just wanted to get him on my team being passionate for me.
Right.
You know, just use the product. Well, that's fantastic. Now, if you like the product, you like what that's got, put a little sign by your car that says, I use Meguiar's. But the show open and everybody had our product and everybody's passionate about it. So it is passion. It is not just selling stuff and the rudimentary, just going through life. Whatever you do, serving the Lord, honoring America, voting for your candidate, if you're not doing it with passion, you're not going to change minds. And so you have to really believe it to your core.
You have always invited me in as a friend, and that's something that I've worked with huge media people, Steven Spielberg, Jeffrey Katzenberg, and the great guys. They treat even we lowly people like we're the most important person in the room. I always got that from you and Karen back in the day. And Michelle, your other daughter, is just one of my dearest lifelong friends.
Yes.
This goes all the way back, 35 years we've known each other. And so where does that passion go to? I'll go politics first, then religion. Tell me about your passion for conservative politics, because I know that you've worked with Charlie Kirk and some DC groups. What do you think about getting the message out to starting a business, being a young person, getting the message out, vote reform, saving America's Constitution? Where's your passion go for that?
In 2 minutes or less?
In 2 minutes, you know how, this is a segment, you know the segment. We got commercial break and, no, go.
Well, for me, life's about salvation and redemption. I mean, I just want to get as many people to heaven as possible. God birthed this country.
Sure.
Thank God we were born in America with this country. And it was all Christian. It was all for one reason, for propagate the gospel. And we're getting back to that. These last 4 years, we had a president. I don't care what you say about him. You can call him an ugly man, but look at what he did.
Yeah.
We never had a president since perhaps George Washington that so proclaimed the rights to be able to express ourselves freely and honor God and whatever. And so I am passionate about Trump, not because I'm not passionate about some of his idiosyncrasies. Yeah. But I want to. You're not voting for a personality.
If
you're voting for results.
Judge him by his fruits, and his results were amazing for religious liberty.
For America.
Barry, tell me about this, because today Christianity is the church is having trouble. The woke fight is in the front lines of our churches now.
The failure is the church.
Okay.
The church went dormant.
We take responsibility.
It is our fault.
Okay.
It's not the liberals' fault. They're lost. They're all lost. We can name those names you and I named after Canberra. We all know them. They're lost.
Yeah.
They're deceived. Satan deceives the minds of unbelievers. 80% of America is deceived. It's spiritual deception. You can't explain why people would tear down our borders and get rid of the police and let the prisoners. It's demonic. It is a spiritual battle in America. How do we solve that? The churches are ineffective. Nobody's going to church. It happens to us. Those of us who know the Lord have stopped. By our silence, we've allowed it to happen. We got to be vocal. I think the most patriotic thing any of us can do. If you've never shared your faith, you say, I don't want to share my faith. I'm not trained. I'm not supposed to share my faith. I'm never going to share my faith. I tried. It was horrible. Go to IgniteAmerica.com and we'll tell you, forget everything you ever learned about sharing your faith. Everything.
The link is in the description.
It is. And just stop trying to get somebody saved and just love on people and care about people. You can't fight spiritual warfare with the minds of man or politics. You can't do that. It's spiritual.
I don't go into the arts and put my Christianity on a table somewhere. I don't go into politics and put my Christianity in a box in the back room. The idea is that Christianity permeates all of our life. Our personality, our family, our school, our politics.
They should see God in us and what we have. And let me just point out the obvious right quick. You explain to anybody. Everything's in moving. Everything's in movement. The only thing that's not moving right now is God. He's the solid rock. The further you get away from God, the more turmoil you're in. That's where America is right now because we moved away from God. If we can get America back to God, it's a big challenge. But we can get ourselves back to God. If you're in turmoil right now and worrying, turn back to God, you come into a safety, and He promises you a sound mind and peace and tranquility. And it's amazing. You have joy every day because you're saved, we're on our way to heaven. And we just need to share that. And when we share our faith, He says, I'll give you joy, I'll direct your steps, I'll make everything in your life. All the promises come true when you honor Him by just loving. He just said, they'll know you're my disciple by your love. It's not hard. And so IgniteAmerica.com would teach you a way to have joy every day. It'll make every day an adventure.
You can order a stack of these cards, UniteAmerica.com, and Barry doesn't make money on this. You get a stack of these, show them the stacks, you hand them out to your friends.
Free of charge. This is just a gift that we're giving.
Points them to the internet.
We have
and
to
then
get revival.
On the back of this card, explain this.
Oh, this is pretty cool. When you're talking to somebody and you know they're so far away from God, everyone's interested. 86% of the unchurched would like to believe there's a God right now. They're looking I think, this chaos. I think God's allowed the chaos to get our attention. Right? So it's easy to talk to you about God right now when they say, well, how do I find Him? I'm interested. You say, well, if you really want to seek God, you can go to this website, seekinggod.org, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. And guess what? He's a God that loves you. He doesn't want to beat you up. He loves you. He has a plan for you. He wants you to spend eternity with in heaven. It's all good news. That's why it's called good news.
He died for you, and some of you out there, you're going, what is real? What can I hold on to? No single being has changed the world like God. What Jesus Christ did is the greatest force for revival. If you want political reform, He was always above politics, way beyond it, and he can capture your heart and change your life. That's the biggest thing, is we want people saved, not just on the right. We want you saved.
And for those of you who are saved, the number one goal now is because Scriptures pretty well indicate that we could be in these what they call the last days. If we're running out of time, think of your friends that might be left behind if you don't get to them.
I assume He's only tarrying so that we will win a few more. There's no other reason to keep it all going, right?
I tell you what.
He wants you, a few more out there, to come in to the family.
The darker it gets, the worse, the bad news comes every day, and the darker it gets, the easier it is to talk to people about God and how there's this God who made us, who loves us, who wants to spend eternity with Him. It's good news, and we get to represent Him and share that story.
Barry, at the end, my dad is a huge car nut.
I didn't know that.
Oh, good Lord, he's such a gearhead. He's watched every one of your shows. Just your opinion, what's the greatest car ever made, your make and model?
Well, you know, my first car is a 57 Chevy. So of all my cars, I got a few, but my 57 Chevy is my favorite. I think the Duesenberg, from an American standpoint, the Duesenberg, the technology they had back in the 30s, absolutely unbelievable. I think the greatest collector car, if you just want a car to have that's just flat out fun and represents the car guy, is better than any. I knew Carroll Shelby as a friend, and the Shelby Cobra. Okay. Oh, that's.
And I had a 74 Dodge Challenger. That was my.
Oh, that's a great car. They were going for big money just now at Barrett Jackson.
I know. That's right. You're doing the big Barrett Jackson event.
Yeah.
Barrett Jackson event is here in Arizona, and you're you're the king of it.
Well, we're the original sponsor with Craig Jackson. He's a good friend.
But hey, I took that 74 Dodge Challenger 165 miles an hour.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
I was afraid of running over a piece of gum because I thought it would blow up.
I tell you what, I got a Ford GT out here in the garage, and we're going to take a ride.
Look at that thing.
Yeah, there's a whole story to this. I'll tell you. This is a God. This is the only car ever made to honor God. The only car ever made to honor God, and we got it. So I'll tell the story. It'll take too long.
That is beautiful.
We have an event center here, Doug. A bus garage, and we turned it around and we made it into an event center with a stage and TV cameras and whatever. We have events of all types of descriptions there. With neon and a 50s diner.
Holy moly. What's that down on the end with the fold up?
That is a 33 Ford Phaeton.
33 Ford. My dad's having a heart attack right now.
I had a standalone one in California. I moved here. I had to move it into the house. So, all my audio stuff I do here. That's my sound room.
Cool.
Now, the fabric hasn't come yet, but that's going.
Now, you had done a Car Crazy podcast for a while.
I never did podcasts. I've done everything but podcasts. I get ready to start them. Okay.
We got to get you podding, buddy. Look at this.
I need help. You help me.
Yeah, I can help you.
So here's what we got. We got a camera there.
Yep.
All right. So I can control this from here. Okay. Or
You're mic'd.
Or I can sit here. I got that.
Yeah, yeah.
Or this is on pads. I can move this out of the way. Down comes my green screen.
Oh, look at that green screen right there, rolled up.
So I got it all together.
We can put you in space.
So this was a sound stage that we had. And so we lost all that. So now we've got it right in the house.
Yeah. Well, you got a little square footage now. There's James Dodson. I'm Doug TenNapel in Exile. Don't forget to check the links below that Barry has mentioned. And of course, pray for America, guys. We're just having a good time. It is so good
He is our only
with
hope.
you again. I love this family. Love them.